Washington.
This your boy, Martin for here once again.
Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Jamari4 here once again. Now, I know that I was supposed to do this video a long time ago, but some things happened. Y'all see, even in the background, someone decided to pee on my bed this morning. So we had to do laundry, and then I went hiking with some friends yesterday, which is really when I wanted to put this video out. And they had me going for like 3 hours. So I walked like 22,000 steps. So my body was just like, kill me now. So I was like, I can't do it. I can't even barely stand up in front of the camera, let alone talk about a show when I'm in full pain. And we're still in full pain, but we're not in as much pain. So let's go ahead and talk about Insecure episode, what's this, 3? 3. Called Lowkey Thankful. So the episode starts out with Lawrence in the mirror. It sounds like he's actually preparing to do somewhat of an interview. And I hear him talking, and I hear him talking about, you know, I have done special initiative to work in a leadership position. Like, you know, those bullshit ass interview questions that we give, like when they ask about what's your leadership style or some shit. Child, I hate those questions. I hate interviewing. That's something that I hate interviewing because I feel like it gives you so much anxiety. You end up giving this representation of yourself, which isn't always factual. You're putting yourself the way that they want you to be. But either way, that's neither here nor there. He's doing these interview questions, and Condola wakes up. So they're laying in bed, and she talks about how she wants to do, you know, somewhat of a Friendsgiving thing for Thanksgiving. But she doesn't particularly invite Lawrence to the event. So, you know, I don't think Lawrence caught this, but he's kind of like, okay, you know, we'll see how it goes. So he makes it to work, and he interacts with the secretary, I believe, and he talks about how he has a meeting with her, or like a meeting with some other person, a boss, a manager, whomever, and they ended up canceling that meeting because that person, some things that came up. And as he's moving through the office, he finds out that they're actually going through some sort of a layoff situation. And I'm just like, ooh, triggered, because that has been me before. The job that I had back in 2016 ended up being laid off, and they outsourced our jobs to India. So anytime somebody goes through something like that, I am just like, I know the feeling. It is so fucking scary. So next we get to this scene where Issa's in a cafe or some sort of a restaurant. It looks like she's gearing up to like watch something, some episode or movie on her laptop. And Lawrence comes in, and he kind of peeps, you know, of course they greet each other, and she kind of, he peeps what she's watching. And, you know, they start going back and forth, having this banter about spoiling different movies and shows. And they kind of just are having this back and forth, and you can really see how much or how long they've known each other and how long they've been around one another, so that they can crack these sort of inside jokes. And then Condola comes over, so apparently Lawrence is here to meet her, and she kind of comes in between them right in the midst where they're going back and forth this banter, and it's really, really awkward. Because on one end, you can, like, all three are uncomfortable in this position for different reasons. Lawrence is uncomfortable because he's sitting in front of, you know, two of the women that he's both dated and currently dating. Condola's uncomfortable because she just walked in on her current boyfriend interacting with his ex-girlfriend, happy and bantering and having all this fun stuff going on. And Issa's uncomfortable because she's having to watch her old boyfriend interact with her new girlfriend, which is also her friend, and try to keep everything copacetic and unawkward. So everybody's just, you know, terrified in this position. And so Issa tries to escape, and there's like, oh, were you guys gonna sit down and eat? I think Condola was asking her, like, are you just gonna sit down and eat? Like, were you getting ready to eat? She's like, no, I'm getting ready to go. And then right as she said that, the cook was like, you know, order for Issa, and she was like, no, I was gonna get to go. Order to stay in, and she was like, really? So she got completely blown out of the water, the fact that she was intentionally planning on staying there, but because they're there, she wants to kind of exit the building. So next we see Issa and Molly are in the shopping center together, and of course some things about Molly's upcoming Thanksgiving dinner comes up, things with her father. But as they're sort of shopping, Molly asks Issa, is it a good idea for me to invite Andrew to our, family gathering? And Issa was like, girl, it's way too early for that. Like, you don't want to scare him off like old Molly did. And you could tell instantly, she was like, she felt a way about that. Because she's like, well, what are you saying? Even though, Molly, you do that. Back in the day, you did used to kick guys to the curb for other different reasons. Like, we talked about the guy that you let go because he got his dick sucked by a dude at one time and didn't like it, and you were just like, no. So I think that's what Issa was trying to say, but I felt like because of Molly's sensitivity, because of their recent friction with each other, they've really just been having a whole lot of miscommunication going on. And I felt like this moment was just like she kind of was like, okay, that was shade. And it just led to, them going back and forth and them bringing up different things about each other. And then I think Issa was just like, well, hold up. Like, it feels like something has just been off between us. And it's just like, how do we, I don't feel like this is what we want to be. Like, how are we expecting to sort of move past this? So they wanted to kind of get together after Molly's Thanksgiving dinner over pie. And they kind of really sort things out as far as the friendship goes, hash it out, talk it over, which I feel like is probably the most mature way I've seen a situation like this play out. Because I'm pretty sure that we've all had friends that we've fallen out with in the past, and when we get in that kind of a disagreement, especially being verbal in a public place, like, it can lead to us saying things that we don't mean and not able to recognize that, hey, we're still friends and that we should be able to talk things out and move forward, especially with a history as long as Issa and Molly's. So Lauren shows up to Condolence's place, with a nice shirt on. He says he wants to make a good impression with her and her friends for the first time. And, she talks about how, she's about to go finish getting ready, but if you wanted to, you can help me, fix this sink, because I tried to call a couple of people, it didn't really work out. And, Lauren's tried to volunteer, but I'm like, are you a handyman? And she was like, I'm gonna let you try it. And I'm like, I don't remember Lauren's ever being able to be a handyman. So child, why did Lauren pull out his phone and go on YouTube and ask and try to figure out how to fix the sink? Now the thing is, that's actually a viable strategy, because I feel like you can learn just about anything from YouTube, honestly. Because, but then again, the fact that the guy was talking about, he wasn't really trying to be serious about plumbing. He was using plumbing as like a metaphor for sex, like drilling and laying pipe. So it looked like, he had learned something and he was able to fix the sink. Because, when her friends and stuff that came over, he was like, he doubles as a businessman, but also and moonlights as a repairman. So I'm like, oh, okay, Lawrence, you done learned something. I'm proud of you. So Issa is out with her brother, and they wanted to do something together for Thanksgiving. And they're out at this restaurant, and it seemed like the wait time was going to be a little bit long. So Issa texts Molly, because they were supposed to come over for pie and talk about, rehash their friendship. She texts Molly and says, I might be a little late, because I'm trying to spend some time with my brother and this, that, and the fourth. And when Molly gets that text, she's already at the house with her family. They're kind of shading her a little bit from here and there. Brother came in with a pregnant girlfriend. Mom is showing her boo off to the brothers and stuff, embarrassing her. So she's kind of like, oh, and her dad is there. And I believe, if I remember, her dad, they talked about this way back in season 1. Her dad, I think, cheated on their mother. And I believe she held her dad to like high regard her entire life, but didn't realize until later on that he cheated on her. And so ever since then, he's kind of been really funny about him. So, she sees him and it's just horribly awkward. It's just uncomfortable for everybody. So I feel like when she got that text about, can I see you later, or I'm gonna be late, I feel like she was kind of looking forward to her and Issa sort of hashing things out so she can kind of get her mind right. But she was like, you know what, girl, do you? And I'm just like, ooh, you can tell that there is just some irritation. There is some just nasty narkiness behind those types of texts. It's just like, ooh, child. So Issa and her brother are talking. And so when she gets this text, she can kind of feel like, ooh, I can tell that she's mad. But in this scene, I felt like we get the truth behind how Issa really feels about Condola and Lawrence going out, because she tells us, because I think for a while a lot of us just thought like, oh, the fact that he was with a new girlfriend, you know, we'd be bothered by it. But it's more along the lines of he is treating her differently than the way that he treated me, or because she's like, you know, while they're at the cafeteria, you know, he was paying for her, whereas whenever we went out, I was paying for everything because I got the version of him that had potential. I got the version of him that was considered a work in progress. But yet when he breaks up with me and gets with her, it feels like she's getting the version of him that I worked so hard for, or like she's able to reap the benefits of my patience. You know what I mean? Like she's feeling like I put in all this work, I put in all this time to get this version of him that he is now, but yet he decides to be with her instead of me. And that's, I think, why, that's what she pretty much tells us, is why she's mad. So while we're at Condola's little Friendsgiving thing, Condola has some interesting guests. One girl who just really couldn't stop laughing and was drunk the whole time. There was like a lesbian couple, and I'm not sure if the guy that was with the girl, was that her partner or what? They didn't really specify. But one of the things that was interesting is that while they were both in the kitchen together, Lawrence and his friend, she mentioned how, you know, Condola was a recent divorcee. She divorced me about 1.5 years ago. She's glad that she's met you because it's helping her really get over her ex. And during the party, I think one of the lesbian couples mentioned how they're planning on getting married. That's what it was. They're planning on getting married, and you know, they was asking for like suggestions on how to plan the wedding. And Condola was like, "Look, I'm not planning any more weddings. I don't want to be anywhere near that aisle. Like, I have no intentions of, you know, having a family, getting married, or none of that." And you could tell like Lawrence was looking like, but wait. He was kind of looking like, wait, you didn't tell me all of this, because I didn't know. Like, his face was filled with such discomfort, and you could tell that it really blindsided him. So when everybody is gone, you know, Lawrence just kind of has all this pent up stuff, like, you know, your friend. No, actually, you know what? I think it started with Condola, you know, actually saying herself, like, even though you weren't initially invited, you kind of invited yourself, but I'm glad that you came. It's kind of like, wow. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, you, not only did I have to find all this under information, you didn't even want to invite me to the party initially. So when that conversation came up, he was kind of like, so your friend kind of told me that, you know, I'm just a fuck buddy to you. And Condola was like, what? She said that? Like, she was drunk. She don't know what she's talking about. And Lawrence was like, you know, I'm just going to have to ask the question. Like, are you still getting over your ex? And Condola was like, no, like, that's over. You know, like, he's like, no, but I heard you say all that stuff about not wanting to get married again, not wanting to have kids. And she was like, I mean, like, I got divorced 1.5 years ago. You know, and I don't want kids, or I really don't want to get married, and he was kind of like, oh, ugh. And you can just tell like all of this stuff is just, they're figuring out all these incompatibilities in this moment. And Condola was kind of took this opportunity to be like, you know, if anybody needs to be worried about an ex, she might be me. And Lawrence was like, what are you talking about? He was like, well, you know, when I came up on you and Issa, y'all were having all this friendly banter and, you know, all this stuff. And he was like, but I'm not with her. I broke up with her because, you know, because she cheated. Like, yeah, she cheated. He's like, but what if she didn't cheat? Like, would y'all still be together? It's like, it's not about that. It's the fact that she still did. But she was like, well, what if she didn't? Would you still be with her? And he said nothing. And I'm like, you know what? Probably, because other than that, there was really no reason for him to break up with her. She had more of a reason to break up with him. Just because she felt like she was a deadbeat, but he didn't really have a reason to break up with her other than the cheating. So he probably didn't want to say that, or he did say that and they said it off screen, but she has a point. Last two scenes that we see is Issa dropping her brother off, and they kind of go through this conversation about, you know what, even though just because somebody expects you to do something doesn't mean that you actually have to do it. And I felt like she took that opportunity to postpone the whole talking thing with Molly, because I feel like she doesn't really know what to say. I feel like she doesn't feel like now is the time that they can really have the conversation, because I feel like she's not really receptive of what Molly would have to say to me. I feel like Molly's probably in that space too. I feel like they haven't really gotten in the headspace to really listen to the other person's issues. That's just based off of my observation. And next we see Lawrence like going through Instagram stories, and he sees Issa, you know, at this Mexican restaurant, and them doing this whole thing. And, you know, he sends the laughing emoji, and we see her like sort of responding, but they didn't really say anything. But what was weird was like, why did they start playing Maya's Case of the Ex though? Like, although this show's musical selection is obviously superb, but I mean, that's the end of the episode, you guys. There's so many different conversations that can be brought upon. So if you have any questions or anything that you want to discuss, be sure to leave that in the comments below. Oh, shout out to, if they made it to this end of the video, shout out to the new Facebook group that I'm in, the Insecure group discussion. They were really receptive to the video and really engaged with it, and it made me so happy. So if you guys are here, hey, what's going on? Love y'all. But yeah, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment for any, you know, Insecure related discussions that you want to have, and I'll be definitely in the comments reviewing that. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.
Like, share, subscribe.
Washington.